The last thing Lyra Vance remembered was the child's eyes wide, terrified, human. The Korvathi war machine had torn through the colony like a plasma storm, leaving nothing but ash and screams. She had found the boy huddled in the rubble, no more than 5 years old, clutching a torn photograph of people who were probably dust now. Then came the sound. That distinctive whine of a Korvathi hunter drone, locking onto biological signatures. Lyra hadn't hesitated. She threw herself over the cub, her body becoming his shield as the energy bolt tore through her back. The pain was white-hot, absolute. As darkness swallowed her vision, she felt the child's heartbeat against her chest, still alive, still fighting. It was enough. Death, she had assumed, would be quiet. Instead, she woke to klaxons. Lyra's eyes snapped open to a heads-up display she didn't recognize, tactical readouts scrolling in an alien script that somehow made perfect sense. She tried to move and felt the weight of powered armor respond, not the lightweight EVA suit she'd worn as a colony engineer, but something massive, military, lethal. She looked down at her hands. They were encased in crimson battle plates, etched with the spiral insignia of the Korvathi Dominion. "No," she whispered. But the voice that emerged was deeper, filtered through a helmet's vocoder. "No. No. No." Panic surged through her. She was in a Korvathi command deck, surrounded by holographic displays showing human settlements marked as targets. Through the viewport, she could see her Earth hanging vulnerable in the black. "General Korvac," a voice crackled through her comm. "The second wave awaits your command." Lyra's mind raced. General Korvac. She knew that name. Every human did. The butcher of Proxima. The architect of a dozen massacres. And now she was wearing his armor, breathing his air, standing in his place of power. She should have been dead. The child should have been dead. None of this made sense. But then she saw it, a small containment pod on the far wall, and inside, suspended in amber stasis, a tiny human boy. The same boy, the cub she'd died to protect. "General," the voice pressed. "Your orders?" Lyra's hands, Korvac's hands, curled into fists. The armor's sensors registered her elevated heart rate, her adrenaline spike. Through the neural link, she felt the ship's weapons systems, could sense the fleet arrayed behind her, like an extension of her own body. Enough firepower to crack a planet. She had no idea how she was here, or why, or what cosmic joke had placed her in the armor of humanity's greatest enemy. But she understood one thing with absolute clarity. She had been given a second chance. "General Korvac is dead," Lyra said, her voice steady now, carrying the weight of command. "I killed him." Silence on the comm. Then, "Impossible. You are transmitting General Korvac's. I am Lieutenant Lyra Vance, Colonial Engineering Corps, and I am taking command of this fleet." She pulled up the tactical display, her mind working at a speed she'd never possessed before. The armor's systems, Korvac's memories, they were bleeding through somehow, giving her access to everything. Fleet movements, defense codes, the location of every Korvathi strike force in human space. "This is treason," the voice hissed. "No," Lyra replied, routing herself to fleet-wide communications. "This is evolution." She had died human. She had awakened as something else, something that could think like the enemy, fight like the enemy, but still carried a human heart that remembered a child's terrified eyes. "All ships, new orders. Cease offensive operations immediately. Redirect to humanitarian corridors. You will provide aid to every colony you've attacked, or I will turn this flagship's weapons on you personally." The comm erupted in protests, threats, demands for verification. Lyra ignored them all. She was already moving, her armored boots carrying her toward the containment pod. The boy's eyes opened as she approached. Even through the stasis field, she could see his recognition not of the armor, but of something deeper. The soul that had covered him when death came calling. "It's okay," she said softly, deactivating the pod's locks. Behind her, she heard the hiss of doors opening. The charge of plasma weapons. Korvac's officers, coming to end this madness. Lyra smiled beneath the helmet. They had no idea what humanity was capable of when pushed to the edge. She had given her last breath for this child once. She would do it again, 1,000 times over. But this time, she wouldn't have to. This time, she had an army. "Stand down," she commanded, and her voice carried the authority of a general who had conquered worlds. Or learn what happens when a human has nothing left to lose. Not, the weapons lowered. Not out of loyalty, but fear. They could sense it in her, that uniquely human quality that had terrified the Corvathi from the first moment of contact. The absolute refusal to surrender, even in death, especially in death. Lyra lifted the boy from the pod, cradling him in arms designed for destruction, and walked toward the bridge viewport. Earth hung before them, battered but unbroken. "Take us home," she said, and the fleet, humanity's greatest enemy, obeyed.